guys, welcome to another episode of Ljs Garage. I am sitting in a 2015 BMW M3 and this one is modded. I don't usually do a lot of modded cars, but today I've got Tyler with me and
how's it going?
And Tyler's just gonna talk about this thing because no one talks about a car better than their owner, and this one's got quite a bit of things done to it which makes it a little bit better than stock form, and unfortunately mine is staying stock, so I'm gonna live through Tyler and this beautiful car right here and maybe steal his bronze wheels at the end of this video. But yeah, hopefully you guys are looking forward to Tyler sharing his love for the M3 and also a BMW fanatic like myself. So yeah, Tyler, tell us about the car.
But before Tyler does that, let's take a moment to go back to his last M3.
I've always wanted to be cool and just kind of do one of those like over the top cool guy entrances into the back seat. But I'm not that cool, so this is the best you got. But it's kind of nice.
Coming from a Jeep to this was just my dream, and now I'm going to an F80, which is like, I was happy to have one at 30, but here I am at 21.
Hell yeah,
making it happen, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be a blast. All right, yeah, this is my 2015 M3. You know, you guys saw some B-roll of it and all that. So currently, like mods wise, visually, I got a clear bra. I believe it's XPEL. It was done in Florida. So it has seen some wear and tear, unfortunately, but it's definitely saved me. And I got carbon eyebrows, LED, fully adaptive. These wheels, 20-inch Richland Forge. They're called Project Diablos. So essentially, they're pretty much triple 6Ms, but you're going to get a ½ inch of width on each wheel. And I also think there's a little bit of weight savings as well, and they are fully forged wheels. Calipers, been powder coated in nice little gold. Previous owner did that, and they just so happen to look really well with these wheels, so no complaints there. Awesome, holding up pretty nicely. I've done a stud conversion. Just a lot easier to switch wheels. I got 2 sets. You know, I got stock 437s I run in the winter time. So it just makes switching wheels out a breeze. Cleaning wheels, taking them off a lot quicker. Then, you know, come back here. I got the PSM style trunk spoiler. Really nice. I mean, that's just an eBay piece. At the end of the day, all that eBay carbon's pretty good stuff, I'm not gonna lie.
That's the one you sent me, right?
Yep, that's the one I sent you. I have a couple buddies running that currently on their F chassis cars. Also got the M Performance carbon exhaust tips, and now those are paired with the, you know, just stock BMW M3 exhaust and all that. We got blacked out IND badges, reflector deletes. Then also, I forgot to mention on the driver's side, it does have the keyhole delete. So that's an ID piece, so pretty much this piece right here on the driver's side door, instead of having a key in it, it's just a cover. So if the car battery dies, I'm pretty much screwed. I didn't do that either, so don't blame me for that one. You know, it's got the carbon roof, obviously no sunroof. That carbon was added, not bad. You know, I wouldn't spend the money on it, but it looks good. I had to spend it. And other than that, exterior wise, it's just got like blacked out side vents and all that. On the back right now on the tires, I'm running Cumpel Exta PS91s. Absolutely love them. Coming from the Super Sports and Michelins, honestly, they take the power a lot better than the Michelins did. And I think that has to do with a little bit of the age in the Michelins, you know. But these in the rear, I'm running a 295 30/20. And then the fronts, I am still running the Michelins just because they are in good shape and the tire date's still within, you know, allowable spec. And the fronts, I'm running a 275 30/20 as well. Interior mod wise, you know, I got absolutely all the carbon possible. I'm sure he'll show some footage of that as I'm talking. I got the carbon wheel, ECS tuning special. I got a bunch of the IND carbon, you know, little pieces. I got the paddles. I got the second piece for the steering wheel at the bottom here. It's carbon's everywhere. I got the carbon seat backs, you know, DCT controller and all that. And then getting into that, you know, the car is a DCT car. Obviously, you know, people have their feelings towards the auto cars and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. You know, I like both, and I can appreciate both. And I just think the DCT in these cars is honestly the way to go, just because the car was designed around the DCT, kind of like the E90 cars. And it shifts so crisp. You know, I got the GTS DCT flash on it, so clutch pressures are a little bit heavier. You know, clinch a little bit harder. And then in regard to the drivetrain mods, I have the GTS diff tuning, steering tuning. I have all that coded in. And then also for the engine wise, tuning wise, it's stage 2, 93, just off the shelf. It's supposed to be like a 500 wheel tune, and you know, we do a little bit of fun sometimes, and it definitely keeps up with that 500 wheel it says it is. And you'd be pretty surprised on what this car can do. You know, me and my buddy, he has an M4, same mods, and he's taking stock Hellcats. It's a lot of fun. It's great. You know, it's not a race car, but when you can make it a race car, it's pretty cool. And then motor-wise, internally, this car does have step coulter spark plugs, NGKs, and that's just 0.22 gap or 0.22 gap. And it just runs really clean, really well with the stage 2 and all that, and it's highly recommended by boot mode. I do have a crank hub single piece upgrade. That is the Insane Performance pin crank hub, and it's, like I said, single piece. That was done down in Florida by Miami Performance, and that crank hub, I believe it has like 40,000 miles on it. So it's proven. I drive the heck out of this car. You know, I maintain it meticulously, but I do treat the car how it's supposed to be treated. Exhaust wise, I got Macon downpipes, and those are, as we like to call, catless. Don't let YouTube hear that, or EPA. You know, we don't have emissions here, so that don't exist, right? And then from there back, I do have the Dynan mid pipe. That is an X pipe, and I do have the stock, just BMW M3 exhaust. I have this little nifty valve controller on a little keychain. Now, so instead of the valves fluctuating with, you know, I believe it's like throttle percentage wise and mile per hour based. If I want to close all the time, they're going to be closed. If I want to open all the time, they're going to be wide open. They're going to scream. And in regards to like the audio of the exhaust, you know, it's not the greatest car up until like 3.5. Like there you go, you can hear some rasp there. But once you get up top, you know, I downshift it here. It screams. And it just sounds really good up top, you know. And that's how you're supposed to drive it. They want it to sound good up high. And suspension, I do have KW V1 coils. Well, how it works is the front is a coil, and then the rear, it's a high adjustable spring with a strut. It's got Macon camber arms, I believe, so it's got some aggressive alignment. It burns through tires pretty quick, but it is really good for, you know, the winding roads and all that sort of stuff. And you know, if I ever have fun doing some roll racing, oh my goodness, I do some roll racing. It grips up great. As I said, those Kumho tires, I absolutely love them. They're awesome, absolutely awesome. I've had this car, you know, at the track, quarter mile and stuff, just for fun. You know, soft launches, M dynamic mode on. It runs low 11s. It's awesome. You can't ask for more from a car that's supposed to go left and right, not straight.
That's pretty solid. I didn't know you got numbers like that.
Yeah. I got I think I was 11.5. No, I got down to 11.4 on this car. I think Ross got his car down to 11.3 with doing full launch control with some ET Streets on stock 437 wheels, and those are a 19. I'm running a 20-inch wheel, and I did take these 20 inches on the track, but it was cool. It did great.
What do these normally run stock, like 12 something?
They're mid-high 12s.
Okay.
I know some people, you know, you're down in Florida, some of those guys, they've had high 12s, sometimes breaking into the 13s. And really what it is with this car, your torque numbers are always a little bit higher than your horsepower output, and you're just fighting for traction all day. And luckily, again, going back to my GTS diff tuning and all that, it gives the M dynamic mode a little bit more leeway, lets it slip a little bit, so it's not pulling as much power. You know, so when I'm doing, you know, twisties and stuff, I do like to keep MDM on, just to keep that kind of tame. And I do still have a little bit of fun, you know, it still will kick out enough. And you ain't got to do too much work, it'll save itself. But if I'm doing, you know, straight line stuff, I do like to pull it all the way off, and you'll get a little chirp, 2-3,
okay,
from like a 40 roll. But it's a lot of fun, it's great. I mean, if you wanted to sit there from a stop, turn all the way off, and just floor it, it'd do a hell of a burnout.
But you've never done that, though.
No, never.
Good. You don't abuse cars like that.
No, not at all.
Because this one might be for sale, you said. Maybe.
Yeah, this one might be for sale. And, you know, I'm going to go pretty extreme on just outlandish, something different, you know, normally I don't go for. You know, me and him were talking about, you know, how biased I am with BMWs. The only sports cars I've ever had have been M3s. I've only had M3s. Everything else has been SUV, you know, Jeep and that kind of stuff. So, you know, I want to try something out different. For my last year in Ohio, I plan to move at the end of next year. So, you know, for my last time, you know, in Ohio, around all my friends. I have a lot of BMW friends. I got a lot of muscle car friends. Just everybody everywhere. You know, I'm going to try something out. Who knows? I don't know.
like it.
I mean, we're gonna keep that on the low. You know, me and LJ talked about some of the options there.
Varieties of spice.
And hopefully it's something awesome that he's never done a video on, and we can get another video on that. But yeah, I mean, for mods wise, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. It sums it all up. Like I said, ton of interior carbon. This is a non-comp car, so it doesn't have the standard seats and all that. It doesn't have the cool little fancy pass-throughs I wish I had. Yeah, I mean, it's a great car. I love it. I will be back in an F80 within 12 months, I'm sure. Absolute favorite car ever. I mean, you guys are gonna hate me for this. Best looking M3 out there, F80. I'm sorry, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. My favorite M3 ever, E46, hands down. E46 is great. I'm just an inline 6 fanatic, man. You know, I respect them all. I loved it. I love that BMW brought back the inline 6 after the E92, E90X cars or whatever. The V8 was cool and all, but you just can't beat that inline 6.
Absolutely not.
But
So
yeah.
as far as like, so you had this in stock for how long?
So I got the car. I already had crank hub done, but you know, I had stock map, stock exhaust. I just had a few of the visual things. You know, it came with stock wheels, and I probably kept it stock for 4 months, tune wise. I went stage 1. You know, it was a great. I think it's like a 100 wheel increase. Then you go stage 2 after that. You know, that's only that's more of just for getting the sound of the catless downpipes and all that. Hearing the turbo. You know, you can't really hear the turbo spool and stuff in here, but when you're driving and you let off, you go. I love it. I just love the sound of the turbos. And you know, some people hate turbos, but I think it's really cool. I like it. You know, having the naturally aspirated car and the turbo car, you can appreciate both for different reasons.
Oh yeah, and we'll put the windows down in a little bit and just let it pick up whatever sounds it does, and I'll see if it's good once I edit.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is, because this thing does sound pretty good for what it is. The S55 isn't really known for being the best sounding motor, but you know, the B58 sounds good.
It screams up top. I'll give it that. You know, down low it does sound like crap.
Yeah.
And you know what, the exhaust setup I do have right now is pretty raspy below. Like, I'll let you listen to it here. You know, you put it down, I mean, you're gonna hear some rasp under about 2.5. I was telling him, like, hey, when you drive it, I'd shift 2.5, 3,000.
Makes sense.
If you're just cruising, and obviously if you're getting down with it.
And it doesn't drone too bad at all. I wouldn't say it does.
And then, I mean, I'll go ahead and turn the valves off, let them hear that. If they can hear it through here, I mean, putting all comfort settings on. I mean, we're in a 328 at this point. Stiff suspension, 7-speed. But I mean, it's a quiet car. I mean, you have one of these cars. You know how quiet these cars are in comfort mode. It's a luxury car at heart, but with sport, you know, racing heritage, which is awesome, which I love about these cars.
So I guess what's your favorite mod that you've done so far? Like, what was the thing that made you realize you love this?
Yeah, the biggest change, man, was throwing on those Richland Forge wheels. I mean, you know, if you're a car person, you know, you do love cars, and you know, when you get your car, you love it. It's great. Always love this car. But you know, when you throw something on that's, you know, really does change the way this car looks, it just brings the love back. I mean, I'm pretty much a short-term ownership car guy. I had my E46 6 months. I've had this probably a year and 3 months.
I like the way you put that, short-term ownership.
I mean, the great thing about cars is they're not like women. You know, women, you find one, man, you gotta take care of them and keep them long-term, brother. You know, you get an M3, you get a car, you can swap them out, no fuss. I mean, yeah, you might break some parts here and there. You know, that's your arguments and your fuss.
Wait, we still talking about cars or women?
Oh, well, I was talking about women. But no, that's just a great thing about cars. You can just swap them in and out however you please. And you know, I'm fortunate enough to be in a good situation to where I can do those sorts of things and all that. You know, it's awesome. I love working on my cars. I love working on this car. You know, a lot of people are like, man, you're crazy working on a modern BMW, and I mean, aren't you worried you're gonna break something? Yeah, I have actually. I stripped the fuel rail fitting once, but Imports Worldwide hooked me up. Like, it's $15 fuel rail. So I did the valve cover and all that.
So from the time you've had this, you definitely, it sounds like, say that this is not a hard car to work on.
Not at all. And you know, I bought this car 55,000 miles, and here I am. I've put, looks like, you know, 20,000 miles on this car. Put 20,000 miles on an M3. The worst thing I ever had happen was it's something that happens to all these cars no matter what. So if I would have bought, say I bought LJ's car, you know, he's got a low mile car, great car. If I did 20,000 miles in that car, no issues. And that issue arose within the first couple months of ownership, and since then, nothing.
Nice.
You know, a few self-induced things, you know, didn't have the charge pipes all the way on, blah, 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 that sort of thing. But, I mean, as part of the car breaking itself, nothing. I mean, this car has not broke itself. I mean, obviously I maintain it well. I just did diff fluid not too long ago. And it looks like the last owner, he was awesome too. You know, I've reached out to him on Instagram and found him. Great guy. Gave me all the paperwork from Mimer Performance. I mean, this car's had everything done you could hope a car like this could have done, maintenance-wise. You know, I went in there. Diff fluid was already changed, but, you know, I want to do it again, and the fluid looked brand new as I pulled it out. He did modal blue on it, and it was still great Smurf blue. It was awesome. Oil changes, you know, I don't run like ethanol. Like, I don't run E85 or nothing like that. I just stick with 93. I see a lot of guys having injector clogging problems, grenading their motors with that, which obviously that's subjective, kind of like the crank hub thing. So I just stick to 93, 3,000 mile oil changes. Liquid moly, you gotta love them. These guys are awesome. Use that. And I mean, really, the only maintenance, I've done brake pads. That is one thing I forgot. I do have low dust brake pads on it. They're so the normal, you know, the brakes are steel rotor. Mm-hmm. I got low dust ceramic pads on it. Love it. And if you guys got an F chassis car out there, I think most M Sport cars and stuff, like I know like the 235i, the F chassis car, the M2, F80, all those cars, or even the F30 with the upgraded brakes. You know, they dust really bad stock because they got that combined material synthetic pads. There's a lot of good options for low dust brake pads out there, man. I mean, especially with these wheels, you know, it's such a pain in the butt to clean the 666 style wheels. And, you know, the ceramic coated, and then I have those low dust pads. I mean, really just road grime coming off them because it flakes off almost like sand. You know, I love it. I mean, yeah, you lose probably 5% performance there. I don't track the car. You know, I don't drive it too hard for long periods of time. You know, I'll drive it for, you know, I'll go back roads for half an hour, you know, or whatever, yeah. Cruise or something. And, you know, you're going on a cruise, like back road cruise, you're not driving hard the whole time. You're not on your brakes, you're not boiling fluid. So, you know, I never get to the point to where I'm like, whoa, you know.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that, like, you have to push the car at 100%, which most of us owning these, we don't come anywhere near 100%, no. Unless you're at a track and really getting on it, and most people don't do that with these.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and then, you know, segmenting into that, like coming back from the E46, that is a fun thing about them, you know, lower horsepower cars, high strung motors, you got to push them to get your performance.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, I know guys that they could drive their E46 and smoke me on the track in this thing. You know, they're great drivers. I'm not a bad driver either. You know, I've had limited seat time on the track, and actually, I've never got this on the track. I got to drive the G80 M3 on the track. Absolutely incredible car. Had carbon ceramics. Stopped on a dime. It was awesome. Did that at the M Performance Center. Loved it. And they had this little track. It's called like a rat race or whatever. Did 240i's on the track. And you know, here I am, a little noob. Never been on track before, but you know, I do like sim stuff. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And I go on the track. Out of 100 people, I had the fastest time. I had fastest time everybody. And one guy comes and, sorry Emma, one guy comes and beats me that's been driving cars for 20 years. Then there I am, the second fastest time on the track. As a track noob out there, everyone's like, man, you know, you go to the BMW events, a lot of people are, you know, the older, and I don't want to say they all look down on us, because I mean, a lot of my BMW friends are great guys. Some of them, you know, they're the 50s, 60s, 70s, you know, yeah. They're older guys. But, you know, young guy, you have this car like this, oh, it's daddy's money, it's daddy's car, you don't know what he's doing. You know, luckily it's not daddy's money. If it was daddy's money, hey, I'd have two. I promise you I'd have two of these. GT3 or something. But, I mean, and they saw that time, they were like, wow, that's crazy. And I was like, that's crazy too. I have my buddy Kevin with me. If he's watching this video, he's got a little nickname for me, and it's a little inside joke. He knows that one. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah, I mean, these cars are great. And with the horsepower these things do, and with my suspension setup, I do not have to push this car hard to be fast. You know what I mean? just take it easy and just have a lot of fun with it, man. It's great. I mean, it's an awesome car. It's a pretty much do-it-all car. And that's just the biggest thing with this car I like about it. It was my daily driver for a while. I work from home now, so it doesn't really get the miles it used to anymore, luckily.
So from like stock to this now, like, have you noticed the difference with like how you drive it, like with handling? Has the power changed the balance of the car for you? Like, or does it still feel pretty much like?
Oh, it feels great.
Okay.
I love
That's
it.
always what I worry about.
I feel like I thought the car was down on power stock. Just to be honest with you, bro. Like, I really did. This car could, I mean, you gotta think, like, I mean, it's crisp. It's perfect. Like,
those brakes are still surprisingly
good, right?
Good.
Yeah. You can expect I break some feelings.
Yeah.
And I hurt some fucking feelings in this car. It's just so understated as in like a high horsepower vehicle.
Damn, I honestly thought stock was fast enough, and now I feel like it is slow compared to this thing.
It is slow.
Like
you're putting, if we went 40-40, I'd probably put a schoolyard on you. Which I mean, everyone has our different taste, and this is my perfect preference.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, the brakes are phenomenal. You're familiar with the brakes.
Yeah.
I mean, with these pads, they ready to do. Yeah, you just let me know what you want to do with your footage.
Yeah, no, I'm along for a ride, so this is.
Well, I'll do a little bit of driving then. There, you see it was ready to grip?
Yeah. This thing is nasty.
You want to drive?
Of course.
It's fun, dude. It's fun.
This is solidifying that I really don't need more power. I never thought I'd be at that point in my life, but this thing is quick.
For what it is really fast. It's a really fast car.
And for the record, I'm only going like 60%, not even that. Baby, this thing.
Like I said, I got dynamic mode on, so you're fine.
I usually take these pretty hard with the motorcycle, so I've like memorized this little track.
Wide, yeah, kill carry down here and all that.
Nice to know you can break it loose pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, it'll give you a little bit on the track with, traction on. And traction off, it'll let you end up in that field if you feel like it.
I think that's why I haven't modded mine, is because I'm more of like the turns and winds. As much as I love the straight line performance, I don't do it enough.
Downshift right here. Obviously, it's not the fastest car on the road, but like stock Z06s and stuff, stock Z01s, they're like, damn.
Yeah, but everyone talks about like the what's the Nissan one, the GTR.
GTR,
and they forget about this.
They do. This car on E85 will take a full bolt-on E85 GTR.
I believe that.
Yeah, I mean,
like, yeah, you miss out on all-wheel drive, but something about all-wheel drive takes away from the experience for me.
And if you guys don't believe me, look up Archangel M4 on Instagram. He's got a full bolt-on 85 meth car. He's hurting feelings. Stock turbos. He's hurting feelings. 2 from stage 1, it's pretty much just a torque pickup, not really a horsepower pickup.
This is wild.
Like a 20 horsepower. Or
It doesn't
20
even feel
torque.
like the same car, like nowhere near.
Now, do you feel a difference in the shifting?
Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
like the, so that's with the tune and everything?
That's with the GTS Flash, yeah.
Okay.
And that right there, the GTS Flash for the transmission, it's off the shelf available. Now with the differential coating and all that stuff, now that's going to be, I think, ISTA or just another third-party thing. I mean, everyone has their ways of doing stuff.
Yeah. And doesn't that GTS tune, it protects the transmission a lot better than the stock tune,
So
doesn't
you
it?
get less slip, therefore it is better for your clutches. Now you are getting harder hits.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the actual transmission is strong, extremely strong. And I'd rather save the clutches personally. Just wants to spin, so it's gonna traction on you.
Yeah, I love MDM mode, and I love that it lets you slip just a little tiny bit.
And as you see, we're dogging the hell out of it right now, and those temps, it's still below the second mark. It's touchy on throttle, ain't it?
Yeah, it does not want to go slow. It's like a rope.
But Sport Plus, it's brutal. Man, freaking love it, man. I don't get the right passenger much, so like I'm enjoying this.
That's all we got for you guys. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, where can they find you, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm not big on social media, but I do have an Instagram, Hunts.Garage. Find me around there. I got this 360 camera, Insta360. You know, if we go out to Mexico strictly, I'll post some cool footage up of that. I got some footage of me at the strip with Insta360, some interior driving. You can just find me on there if you want to see some stuff. Any questions, interested in the car, shoot me a message.
If
Just
someone gives you an offer,
mention you came from this guy right here, and I'll give you that friends and family price. So, and then he'll get a little bit of a full piece from it.
if after watching his own video on this, he doesn't fall back in love and not decide to sell this thing. But I appreciate you, Tyler, and thank you guys for watching this one. I'll see you on the next one.
Take it easy.
Cool.